Dr. Alfred said, hey, it's my 30th anniversary. Number one, I can't believe it's been 30 years already. But she's like, I'm going to have a celebration. We're going to have people at all of our 10 homes. And I was sort of like, wow, we've got to come up with a creative way where we can bring all 10 homes together in one room. And so what you see on the screen are, I think, 7 of the 10 homes and the residents and guests are there celebrating with us. In addition, we're recording this, so Dr. Alfred, you can share this with your friends, families, referral networks for many years to come. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Alfred to say a few words. And again, we are so proud and grateful that you're such a fantastic resource for the community.
Steve, all this was not possible without your help. You have put in many, many, many hours. He has made trips here. We have had meetings. It is amazing how kindly and humbly he has helped us to put this program together. And because all the homes, let me tell it to you in a very simple way. For me, all these homes are like my children. So which one to leave out? And that was my dilemma.
Yes, you told me.
And Steve said, yes, it is possible.
Okay, Dr. Alfred is speaking. I'm not getting through on this.
It is they all are the integral part of Alfred House. Alfred House Symphony came around on the shoulders of all those little homes. And how could they be left out?
And now they live together.
I'm immensely grateful to
I
you
sent it to my email.
for
But
your
I'm trying to
dedication,
get
for
through this.
your service, for the technology that you use to bring all the homes, all Alfred homes together as if they are under one roof. And I want all of you to help me give him a big hand for making this possible.
Well, they have a big crowd. Yes.
And then I extend a warm welcome to everybody present here. I know that we all have jobs. Our time is the most
I see where they are.
gift that we can give to anyone.
My dad.
So I thank you for your presence here. It's very meaningful and very important. I don't take your presence here for granted. Thank you, and thank you very much for your presence. All residents and caregivers, I don't know if they can hear me. I want to tell them that you are part of us. We can see you, love you, especially the caregivers and residents. Welcome to our celebration. I feel that you can see us and we can see you, so that accomplishes our purpose in having this technology. Then I have a special guest here, and I have chosen to call him our chief guest, Stuart Rosenthal. Stuart Rosenthal.
Thank you. I will. Thank you. Yes, me too.
But tradition and occasion demands that I talk about our accomplished and illustrious chief guest, Mr. Rosenthal. A few may be aware that Stuart holds a law degree from Yale Law School and an MPhil from the University of Oxford. Also is the former chair of Maryland Commission on Aging. Nonetheless, the most outstanding of his accomplishments is his service to the community and those who are 50 and above. through his well-known publication, the Beacon newspapers. He is the founder, publisher, and editor of Beacon newspapers since he and his wife Judy established the company in 1989. So I have the honor to call you to the podium to share your wisdom, your experiences with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be able to participate in this momentous occasion, really 30th anniversary of the founding of Alfred House Boutiques Assisted Living. I'm touched that Dr. Alfred invited me to speak today because we have a special bond.
Aging.
As she said, my wife and I started 33 years ago. So it was fairly young when Veena was starting Alfred House.
Oh, really?
And over the years, Veena and I have been fortunate to interact frequently through the Montgomery County Provider Council, through Bros, through the Beacon, and through one of her own homes in our neighborhood. For the past 3 decades, both Veena and I have dedicated ourselves to our respective businesses, trying to do well by doing good, helping our community by doing what we do, and by expanding our services to more and more people. The October issue of the Beacon will have a feature story about Veena and her accomplishments. I hope you don't mind if I share some of the history that she shared with us in her interview. You can read the full story next month in the Beacon. It seems the seeds for Alfred House were first sown by Veena's grandmother back in India. Veena describes her grandmother as beautiful, well-educated, and a pioneer in creating schools for women there. She also had a very open home, inviting the older, unmarried female teachers over to stay with them over holidays or summer vacation. When Veena was young, she and her 5 siblings were assigned chores to help out and take care of the women, all of whom she thought of as additional grandparents. But here's the clincher. Veena's grandmother used to tell her, when you grow old, you make a home for elderly women. Later, Veena came to America with her 2 young sons after divorcing an abusive husband in India. She had been a sociolinguistics professor in India, but due to prejudice here, she was unable to find a job at that level in America. Instead, she worked for about $3 an hour as a counselor at a local school for children with disabilities or who had suffered from abuse. She wasn't so happy with the way they did things there, and vowed to God that if she ever had the money, she would like to do this kind of work her way, with compassion and care. Holding down 2 jobs and working 3 years around the clock, 365 days a year, eventually she was able to scrape together enough money to buy the original Alfred House in Rockville. It was one of the first group homes for older persons in the county, and she started with only 2 residents. The home you see there today has been completely redone and expanded, and now serves 16 residents. For her second group home, Veena turned over her own residence off Belpre Road in Silver Spring and expanded it. Because of her excellent reputation and the satisfaction of her residents, more and more people asked her to open additional homes. So she used the equity from her first 2 homes to build another Alfred House. Then the neighbor of Alfred House 1, an older man who had been like a father, a mentor to Veena over the years, sold his property to her and enabled her to build Alfred House Florence, which she named for her grandmother. You get the picture. Over the past 30 years, Alfred House has grown and grown by providing excellent care and generating more and more demand. Instead of build it and they will come, they came first, so she built it. It hasn't been easy. Veena has worked hard since the beginning. She may have been born into privilege in India, but in America, she has had to build her personal life and business from the ground up. Even today, with 10 Alfred Houses, she can be seen visiting 1 or 2 of her homes every day, talking with the residents, singing and dancing with them, showing her staff what it means to care for your customers. But it doesn't feel like work to her. She tells us, quote, "It gives me a lot of joy. It's endearing to sit with residents and see them light up," unquote. Another thing Veena and I have in common is our recognition of the role that God plays in our lives. She told us, "I don't have a boss. God is my boss, and I hold myself responsible to him." Veena, I think he's looking down with joy at you today and what you've accomplished in the past 30 years. Veena asked me to take a few minutes on my remarks today to touch on the latest information about Alzheimer's. Before I do that, I want to note that Vina herself is not only a talented businesswoman, but a certified dementia practitioner, and someone who keeps up with the latest research in elder care, dementia research, and what's happening in Congress that affects older adults. Each month, she writes a column for her newsletter, and I always find it informative, well-written, and thoughtful. In fact, a few times a year, I will ask her for permission to reprint one of her columns in the Beacon, because it does such a good job of summarizing the latest studies or legislative accomplishments. So Vina probably already knows that I'm about to tell you, which is a preview of an article from the September Beacon, which is being printed tonight, by Dr. Andrew Hudson, who writes for Harvard Health Publications. The question Dr. Hudson addresses is, why do women comprise 2/3 of America's Alzheimer's patients over 65? That is, why is Alzheimer's disease twice as common in women of that age as men? This is particularly noteworthy because the risk of developing any other type of dementia is not greater for women. There must be something about Alzheimer's that's different. Part of it must well be due to the fact that our risk for Alzheimer's goes up with age. And since women live longer than men in America, there are more older women than men, and therefore more of them with Alzheimer's. But even at the same ages, more women are likely to develop Alzheimer's than men. So what else can explain it? You have probably heard about the amyloid plaques that are found in the brains of Alzheimer's victims. We don't really know what they do to the brain, but we know their presence is a hallmark of the disease. The latest theory from Harvard researchers is that amyloid may be deposited in order to fight off infections in the brain. In other words, Alzheimer's could be a byproduct of our immune systems at work. This could explain the higher incidence among women because the immune system in women is generally stronger than in men. That's why women are twice as likely as men to have an autoimmune disease, and why many of these diseases are more common during pregnancy because a woman's body revs up its immune system when she's pregnant. This stronger immune system may produce greater amounts of amyloid plaque in the brain when fighting infection, and that in turn may lead to a higher incidence of Alzheimer's. Note, this is currently all just a theory. Much more research has to be done. We still do not really know what causes Alzheimer's or how to delay its progression, much less prevent it. But I want to leave you with some positive things to think about. One thing research has shown is that there are things each of us can do to reduce our risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. These aren't state secrets. They're well known, but let me remind you of a few ways to improve your health and reduce your risk. 1, exercise at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, especially aerobic exercise, such as brisk walking, swimming, biking, or aerobics. 2, eat a Mediterranean menu of foods, including fish, olive oil, avocados, fruit and vegetables, nuts, beans, whole grains, and poultry. Limit other foods, such as red meat. 3, and this is very important too, get enough sleep. Researchers have found in animal studies that the brain clears out waste products and toxins, including beta amyloid, during sleep. We believe the same is true for humans, so aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. 4, take steps to be around other people socially and to challenge yourself intellectually. Trying new things and learning new things stimulates us cognitively and may protect us from or delay the start of Alzheimer's symptoms. I wish all of you good health and happiness this fall and in the coming year. And Vina, thank you again for inviting me to speak today. You are an inspiration to all of us, and we all hope to see continued growth and success for you and for Alfred House Boutique Assisted Living in the years to come.
Stuart, thank you for those beautiful words. Very many people ask me when I'm giving a tour as to why do I do what I do? And it's difficult for me to explain that this was a commission given to me by my grandmother. When you grow up, you make a home for the elderly. She didn't say homes, a home for the elderly women. Also, she didn't say for men too. She never thought that men get old also. I am very grateful for all of you, to all of you, for being present here and gracing the occasion I can't thank again, I can repeat it 100 times. Steve, you made it possible. Stuart, your presence made a big difference. And thank you again. And we have some refreshments, fruits. Please do not go without it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was in 3 of them.
So did it.